All right, people. So today, doing something a little different because I got these troublemakers have decided they're all going to wake up and start causing trouble around my ankles. So waiting for Brixton Jesus to come. He's coming online in a minute. In the meantime, we're going to catch up on some things that people have been talking about. You know what I mean? Like some things that's been discussed. Some of it in the news, some of it within the community. So recently there was 3 black women from London have ended up being found in the sea in Brighton. Right. So since this has come out, there's been other reports. So there's been reports of apparently before, like, I wasn't aware of this myself, but I think it was maybe like last year or whatever, there was 6 women drowned, or maybe like another 2 occasions of 3 women drowning somewhere else in the UK. You understand? So it's being spoken about like it's some sort of trend. And like big up to, because when I've had a look for information online, I haven't been given anything really from the black community's perspective too much. When I've searched it on YouTube, I've been given like the news articles and things like that. I haven't been given, like, from what I'm hearing, it's not something that's floating around too much in the mainstream arena. But Bouncer, who a lot of what I'm getting these days, like he covers a lot of stuff, Bouncer, so big him up, do you know what I mean? So this is on his page. Hold on, let me just pattern this up so you can see it. So you got to bear with me, man. I've got bare dogs around me, and they're all acting up as well. Literally every single one of them. So let me just. Well, you lot need to chill. You know that, innit? You know, you guys need to chill. All right. There we are. All right. So here we go.
On this video, like,
whilst I do not speak for every black woman, one thing I know about us is we are not going to go for a swim at 5 a.m. with our wigs and weaves on after the club. Like, that's not a thing. Then you have the backdrop of the fact that so many black women are being found dead by the water in this country. That is a pattern. This is part of a pattern, these deaths. That's what's really scary. Yes. I don't know.
So what is this all about? That's what I want to. I haven't heard too much of this myself, but I have heard when it's, since it's come out, people have commented that this is ritualistic. This is some sort of occult ritualistic. So I want to know more. So if anyone knows anything, like, get at me.
Know what's going on, but something is not right.
Something is not right.
What are you doing, you little bastard?
Something is not right. And that we need to raise some awareness. I have in mind what I'm going to do on my end, but we need to raise some awareness. Something is not right.
I also feel.
So what he's saying is, like, if this is a thing that's happening, it's been happening, and no one's been given a heads up. Like, no one's been, no one's been informed, or it hasn't been made known to the public that this is something that, like, specifically black women are at risk of. You know what I mean? It's the way they're making it out. It's been kind of like brushed under the carpet, so it's been made to look like a tragic accident.
I feel sad that I feel grateful for the fact that this story is in mainstream press, because a lot of black women are murdered. It doesn't even make your local newspaper. So the fact that these 3 black women have been named, that they're in all the big newspapers, is a victory in some ways. How sad is that? But I need the police to not treat this as unsuspicious. This is suspicious. What is going on in this country, and why are black women being found dead by the water? It's fucking terrifying, and what a huge loss. It's just so...
I can't lie, man. It's actually crazy. Let's get into, obviously, the Sun posted this.
The 3 sisters found dead in the sea off Brighton Beach last week have been formally identified. Jane Adetoro, Christina Walter and Rebecca Walter, all from Uxbridge, London, were tragically pulled from the water last Wednesday morning. It is feared the women were suddenly dragged into danger after misjudging the notoriously steep shingle shelf close to the water's edge. Their dad, Joseph, today said, "No words can truly describe the pain of losing his family, and describe the girls as his joy and strength."
I don't understand that. What, like, this is...
Guys, the news that we've all been waiting for. These are the 3 ladies who sadly lost their lives on Brighton Beach. They have been identified as sisters and are from London. And their names are Jade Aditoro, she was 36, Christine Walter, who was 32, and Rebecca Walter, 31. So emergency services were called to Brighton Beach on Wednesday, the 13th of May. So as you can imagine, this must be so heartbreaking for their families.
I'll be honest with you, they're not, but I'm telling you, no one's not walking to Brighton Beach at 5 a.m. in the morning, bro, and going in the water just to jump in the water. Like, do you know what I mean?
That is true. What Bounce is saying is true, you know, like, don't get me wrong. You know, yeah, people do go on a mad one, Brighton Beach, after nights out. You know, people get on all sorts of drugs in Brighton and that, yeah, but these don't look like the kind of people, you know, they look like the more sensible type of, you know, they look like when I lived in London, I used to be in Brighton all the time. Yeah, we'd be there. There's always events going on this. So we'd sometimes, you know, we'd go Brighton 2-3 times a week. We'd go down there on weekends as well. And Brighton is a busy place, and it is a 24-hour city. So it is, you know, people are out and about all night. But like he said, it's not you know, look at the age group. They're like in their 30s, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, it don't really add up. Do you know what I mean? If it was, you know, a bunch of festival goers who'd been out on it all weekend, going wild, jumping in the sea, I could understand. But yeah, it don't really add up.
I mean, the tide's not gonna come and just grab you and bring you back down, even if you're walking along Brighton Beach. It doesn't make sense.
And their father Joseph said in a statement, "No words can truly describe the pain of losing 3 daughters in the prime of their lives. Jane, Christina and Becky were more than daughters to me. They were my joy and my strength and the beautiful light that filled our family with happiness and love." So this is extremely sad news. But what I want to know is, what is going on with ethnic minorities and the water lately? This is just like too many women and 3 sisters all at the same time. There are more questions than answers. It's just happening way too much. And why is it only just ethnic minority females? Anyway,
That's crazy,
these are just 3 beautiful...
Like, I don't want to say too much, yeah, because I'm going to add my 2 cents later on, yeah. But I am aware of other similar incidents, yeah, that involve men and involved white people. We'll get into that later, but this is interesting because I weren't aware of this. I wasn't aware of this. I was aware of a thing many years ago, yeah. So there was a thing of Nigerian women disappearing from West London. I can't remember how long ago this was, but it was a thing that was going on, and I do remember that, and that was a bit of a strange thing. But I think it was linked to some sort of trafficking or something like that, but I don't think they ever got to the bottom of it. You know what I mean? It was just a case of like a lot of women had gone missing. This is also very interesting as well. So I'm not taking away the fact that, you know, this is probably racially targeted. So it doesn't mean that every single drowning incident's related, but the fact that there's been others, or apparently there's been, I don't know if there's been 6 or there's been 9 within the last, I don't want to throw out false information so people can double check themselves, but there was a video saying that there was 6 from before and now you've had 3. So I don't know if that's 9 altogether. So you had 9 black women in different parts of the country, the same sort of death. It is a bit suspicious. Well, it is very suspicious. It's not a bit suspicious. It's very suspicious, really. And you can't take away the racial overtone of the whole situation. The fact that this is someone probably targeting people based on their race. And as someone who's lived in the UK my whole life, it's totally believable.
Beautiful sisters gone just like that.
Why is it only just ethnic minority sisters? Like, why is it just black Why is it just black women? Just to say it how it is. Why is it just black women? What is going on? Women who died. Look, so sad, man. My thoughts go out to the family, man. For who has disagreed, unbelievable grift. Waters and that as well, James.
Come on, Mark Anthony in the building. Sorry, Brixton Jesus.
Uxbridge. Look, service will call
Hold on,
at
let me just
5:45.
Let me just pause it, just so I don't have my man
in the
coming
water near. This is before. You know what I mean? This is before.
Hold on, what am I doing?
It's crazy, man.
What am I doing?
It's so crazy, man.
Yo, Brixton Jesus.
My Jenna, what's cracking?
Daya.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow.
You know what?
What have I just stepped into? Because I literally just come out the kitchen with a cuppa. You know what I'm saying?
You're echoing mad at the moment, you know. I don't know if it's
reverb. Don't worry, I can sort that out right now.
Cool. So what I was talking about is the 3 black women who got found in the sea in Brighton, and the mysterious circumstances around their death, and how it's now come out that there's been previous incidents of this.
Okay, am I still echoing?
You are. Don't get me wrong. You sound clear and coherent. Do you get me? You sound like, you know what? You sound like you're talking from the heavens, bruv. Do you get me?
Is this better?
Yeah. That's cool. That's
cool.
Cool. A bit of reverb's cool though. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but because I ain't got time to fine tune it right now, just turn it off.
I hear that.
One there. You know,
so yeah, whilst I was waiting around, I just thought I would just play this through and comment and say my piece. You get me?
All right, I've got a few questions already. Before you start playing that again, yeah, I've got a few questions already.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of conflicting reports, and you know that anytime something just don't make sense, I have to question it, bro, because that's how I stay.
Yeah.
We know for a fact that these 3 women are deceased.
Yeah.
When you know, they're not dying, they're deceased. They're no longer with us in their physical realm. Rest their souls. Yeah. So with respect to the dead, yeah, who were like really young women as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are women apparently in their early to mid 30s. Their eldest is like 34 and the youngest is like 30 or 31.
Yeah.
I've heard reports. I've heard A, that they are 3 sisters.
Yes.
I've heard B, that they are cousins.
Okay.
When the names were released, 2 of them sounded like pretty normal West Indian Caribbean names. One sounded completely African.
I did notice that actually.
I want to know if she's married or if she has a different biological father.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, they all bear a resemblance.
Yeah. I get you.
Maybe they just all look like the mom. I don't know. But these are the questions that I'm asking. Why is it that before we even get into the depths of things aren't making sense already?
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. I hear that. But like you said, it's possible. I don't want to speculate too much, but it's possible that, you know, she might have been married off and that's why she's got a different surname.
There's that, and there's the possibility that she may have had a different biological father in the other 2. But the reports are coming that about the father talking about grieving his 3 daughters.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Yeah.
They're saying she's a stepdaughter. I don't know.
Yeah. I believe, from what I know, and remember, it's very early stages, but I believe that it's his 3 daughters.
They all look alike. And I mean, like I said, if you got with the mother when that daughter was young and you had 2 daughters with her, most men are not going to say, oh, my 2 daughters are my stepdaughter. They're going to refer to those.
Yeah. Yeah, I think your signals are jammed. Hold on 1 second. Yo, still there? Hold on 1 second, people. It'll be back in. So like what he was saying anyway, for me to elaborate. So I thought this was a bit strange as well. So I heard that when I first heard about it, I heard it was some Jamaican women, 3 Jamaican women. That's what I thought these, could have been Jamaican-born women. But then when I saw the names come out, I do remember seeing that the girl had an African name, an African sounding name. So I do remember thinking, okay, so maybe they weren't sisters and maybe they were friends. But to be honest, like he just elaborated, like he just explained, it could have just been she got married. And I think she's the older sister as well. So she's married and she's took her husband's name on. Her husband's possibly West African. That's all I can imagine. So I'm gonna have to invite Brixton Jesus in again, because I don't know what just happened there.
Yo, family.
All right.
Are we back? Was it me?
Are you back? You're back. All right, wicked. I just sent an invite anyway, so cool. Yeah. So like you were saying, that it was confusing from the beginning.
There's a lot of confusion, like I just said, about the questions that I've asked, because we understand that life is complex and death is complex. Do you understand that not everything is black and white? We know this already. However, if I'm just getting the story and a lot of things are conflicting each other already, it already raises a lot of red flags and alarm bells for me.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And
yeah.
The average person says, why are you focused on that rather than the tragedy of these 3 women dying? Because you have to go through everything with a fine tooth comb to make sure you don't miss anything.
Of course.
Or overlook anything.
Of course.
The questions I'm asking are very relevant.
Yeah.
To what it is that we're actually trying to ascertain, information that we're trying to ascertain. Yeah. And that includes that whether they're sisters or cousins or not.
Of course.
There's multiple possibilities of how that could be the case with no suspicion whatsoever. It's just, why is it that there's such confliction in the early reports so early before the story's even been fully reported?
Yeah.
And what were those 3 women doing there?
Yeah. So what was going? So I think they'd gone for a night out.
I'm assuming that.
So they'd gone for a night out. What the official story is, they was walking along. I'm not sure. I probably am familiar with where they fell in, but I can't picture it but I can't really think of anywhere in Brighton where you could just fall into the sea.
Neither can I, because you had to walk out onto the pier. I've been to Brighton.
You know what I mean?
I know how it's set out there. Now,
go on. So yeah, and even me myself, I live by the sea, so I'm always by the sea. I'm always by. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's like these places where you can fall into the sea, and there's places where the sea is gradual. And I think with Brighton, it's one of them places where the Brighton beach is very So Brighton Beach, it's like a hill. You get me? It goes down, right?
I know.
I've only ever seen the water coming up to the steps one time, right? And I don't even know if it was coming down to the steps, but I didn't go down there to find out, put it that way. Yeah, it was one of the worst storms ever. But what a lot of people are saying, they're saying it sounds like some sort of sacrifice.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It definitely sounds weird just based on the things that I've already questioned. It doesn't sound right. It just, all right. One solo woman just dying by herself is a question.
Of course.
3 sisters.
Yeah. Of course.
Or 3 family members, or 3 women. There's very significant ritualistic connotations to the numbers 3 and 33, the power of 3, the Trinity. And if you know anything about ritual sacrifice, these things can be incorporated. We don't know what it is that we're dealing with right now. But all of these questions need to be asked, and they're all valid. 100%.
And obviously, Brighton is a well-known occultist town.
Oh man, it's demonic up there.
Like 100%. Brighton, like there's a town called Lewis, which is near Brighton.
Yeah, I know there too.
Right, and now that's the that's like the witches and wizard capital of the UK. Or it was. I think someone's beat them to it now, but it's one of them towns that is up there, isn't it? Brighton is right next to Lewes. Similar kind of people.
Yeah.
I
know about
and also
line, that whole East Sussex. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. But Brighton is the definite epicenter. Brighton and Hove.
The town, I've seen all the flipping shops.
Yeah.
In fact,
Brighton
I started in Brighton a couple of times, bro, and had to walk up and down until the train station opened up again. So, I know, do you understand what I'm saying? How weird that place is in the day and nighttime.
Yeah.
Nighttime is different. The energy is different.
Definitely. It's not the sort of place I would recommend to be lacking. Because, you know what I mean? Like, big up my Brighton guys as well, because I've got a couple Brighton guys as well, right? And we used to go and link them like years ago and shit like that, yeah. And you know what I mean? They showed us what time it is in Brighton. Do you see what I'm saying? So even though Brighton, you know, it always seemed like a little seaside resort, whatever, holiday place, but you know what I mean? Actually, Brighton's on some different timing in this day and age. It has been for a while. And those fucking weirdos and them drifters you'll get, they've always been coming to Brighton. Do you see what I'm saying? They've been coming to Brighton for fucking decades. So all these fucking weirdos and serial killers and these sort of people, yeah, they've been in Brighton. Do you know what I mean? So it ain't the kind of place you want to have your guard down. Definitely.
Hey, I'm telling you, weird, very weird part of town. I've been there. It's not the kind of place that I really want to go and hang out. Energy's weird. Don't get me wrong, the people that I encountered were lovely, but there are some weirdos as well. And they've got a very come with us, come with me.
Yeah.
Nah. I'm cool. I'll stay within the vicinity of the train station.
Yeah. Nah, like Brighton's one of them places though, don't get me wrong. Like there used to be a lot of hip hop events there, a lot of dub events used to go to back in the day, a lot of concerts. They used to have a hip hop festival, Brighton Hip Hop Festival, which was outdoor free festival back in the day. So it used to be, you know what I mean? But all of these things, they're almost like things to lure you in.
Rituals, mate.
What, sorry?
So they're energy harvesting rituals.
100%. So they're just little tactics to lure you in, and you know what I mean. So Brighton's one of them places already. Red flag.
Yeah,
it's already a red. What I've been trying to find out as well, because people have been saying that this isn't the first time this has happened, isn't it? So they've been saying that.
This is a thing that happens.
Yeah. So when was the last time before this? Does anyone know? Like, I've tried to find some information, but because BBC and all the mainstream channels, they take up most of the search engine. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I ain't found too much on it.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do, is I'm going to, because I'm just rolling my little Ziggy right now. As soon as I finish rolling the Ziggy, I'm gonna get onto Google and stuff.
Yeah.
And eCozy is my search engine. I don't really Google too much.
Yeah.
eCozy, you know what I'm saying? But I had to switch over my thing. I got my laptop in front of me and I got my screen right there, as you know. You can see yourself there.
Yeah, I can see myself.
I have my laptop, so I've got my web browser in front of me right now, because this is how I set it when I'm doing research now. I like to. You get me?
Yeah, man. All right, cool. We got Monique wants to come on.
Bring in Monique, man.
Let me try and get the hold on.
Bring in Miss Gregory.
I will.
Can't believe it. We're aligned on the clock.
That's what I'm saying.
We're in the same time zone and awake.
Yeah.
Get her in, I want to hear what Miss Gregory has to say. Say what Miss Gregory has to say, because I know Miss Gregory's got something to say about this. One thing that I do love about Miss Gregory, she checks out what's going on in the world, not just what's happening in America. Okay, it looks like Tara's gone backstage to try and handle that with Miss Gregory. So you guys are with me, Brixton Jesus, for now. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've rolled my joint now. I've got my coffee right next to me. And while Tara is sorting that out, I'm going to let you join me on my search to find out, you know, what information we can find out about this happening in this area before, with multiple women just mysteriously and conveniently dying in groups of 3. We need to check that out right now. So we are on Ecosia. All right, we're on Ecosia. And here we go. Reports of groups of women dying in Brighton. Real simple search. Nothing elaborate. 3 women died, tragic incident. Yeah, we know this is what we're talking about today. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Anytime. No, I'm not trying to get any time. News. Let's go to news. It doesn't give us. Yeah, it's saying it's dominate. Yeah, I see what it's saying about it dominating the BBC dominating the search results. Oh, we have the nightclub statement. We have the, all right, let's check out what the nightclub statement is. Nightclub statement amid reports women were at event before being found dead in sea. All right. A seafront nightclub has issued a statement amid reports 3 young women partied there before their bodies were found in the sea. This morning at around 5:45 a.m., emergency services filled Brighton Beach after being called out to reports of a body in the water. Police later confirmed that 3 bodies had been recovered from the sea. An investigation is ongoing into the circumstances of their death and to identify the women. It is understood that the women were approximately 20 to 30 years old and were first spotted at Brighton's Palace Pier before drifting to the marina. We need to stop right here. At this line, it is understood that the women were approximately 20 to 30 years old and were all of these women were early to mid 30s. Not one of them was 20, 25, or 27, or 26. The youngest was at least 29 to 30 years old. Yeah. So this is very inaccurate reporting, but it comes from MSN, which is US based. So, you know, I'm not going to scrutinize it too hard. Yeah. But we're taking a note. According to national media reports, the group had been at a David Attenborough themed night out hosted by Quarters, a nightclub on the seafront. Quarters runs a weekly student night called See You Next Tuesday, which the women were understood to have attended. This has not been confirmed by Sussex police, who are still gathering evidence. Police at the scene this morning. Okay. Shows a picture. A spokesman for Porters confirmed they were supporting police with their investigation. It said, "We are aware of an incident that took place on Brighton Beach on Tuesday night." Stop right there. A spokesman for Porters confirmed they were supporting police with their investigation. It said, referring to the spokesman as it, not he. It said, "We are aware of an incident that took place on Brighton Beach on Tuesday night. Alongside all other local businesses and venues, we are supporting the police in their inquiries. Members of the public have been asked to avoid the beach as the investigation continues. A cordon remains in place on the beach near Brighton Marina and the Black Rock car park." This stinks to high heaven to me. Stinks to high heaven. I'm not buying any of this crap. I already suspect these women were murdered, and I already suspect it to be something that was orchestrated and premeditated. I don't think this was an accident. I don't think all three of them just got drunk like this and fell over the railings of the pier into the sea. And even if there is footage that shows them appearing to do so, I would suspect that they were drugged or their drinks were spiked before that happened. People don't just walk off and end up in the sea after a raid. What I'm also suspicious of is that these women were aged 30 or 29 to 34. That was the age range of these women. 29 or 30 to 34 or 35. None of them was in their 20s or from 20 upwards. That is a deliberately inaccurate description of the age range of the women, and it conveniently fits the narrative that they were at a student night. Because I'm not saying that grown people don't go to student events. What I'm saying is student events aren't typically full of women from 30 to 35 years old, right? But 20 to 30 seems a more appropriate fit. And that's why I'm suspicious already, along with other things that I've already mentioned. Again, I do not know what is going on. I'm just here questioning things and trying to figure it out. Let's see. Let's see. Let me see if I can join this one. All right. Okay, it looks like I'm in this meeting by myself. Maybe I should end it.